welcome to Show of the Week, the weekly show that romances your crew members and then never calls them back because it's too busy fighting the Reapers. I'm Jane.
And I'm Mike, and this week I've been to Ken Levine's Bioshock Infinite talk at BAFTA headquarters, where I asked some tough questions because I'm a real-life, proper journalist.
Ken, you've talked a bit about the ending of the game, but it's called Bioshock Infinite, so how can it possibly have an ending? Sure, you're making a scene.
It's hard-hitting.
Yeah, I know. I think his security loosened a couple of fillings, actually.
Ow. Meanwhile, I've been mourning my Commander Shepard, who was tragically lost in a me losing the USB stick she was saved on accident. So yeah, I've been playing the Mass Effect 3 Citadel DLC with Andy's Commander Shepard
that guy.
instead. Yeah.
Alien versus To Catch a Predator.
I know, right? Since my Commander Shepard is lost to the ages, I'm playing Mass Effect 3 Citadel DLC with Andy's Shepard, who is a kind of space gorilla with a Gomez Addams pencil moustache. But enough about him. Citadel is the final slice of downloadable content for BioWare's trilogy-capping Mass Effect 3, and it is a sublimely cheesy wedge of Mass Effect fan service. In it, Shepard inherits a swanky apartment on the Citadel space station, which opens up a new area in the neon-bathed Wards district. Soon enough, the crew of the Normandy moves in because they are also on shore leave.
Permission to come aboard, Shepard?
And also someone is plotting to kill and identity theft the good commander. There is an ill-advised stealth section, but stealth here is more of a guideline than a rule. Every beloved character you've kept alive up until this point gets a turn as you sleuth your way through the wards, a casino, and a whopping archive facility in this hours-long episode. It's stuffed with Mass Effect in-jokes and callbacks delivered with enough winking good humour to be a cheesy celebration of the series rather than smug self-congratulation.
With barely enough time to grab my toothbrush.
Citadel is a fluffy fan fiction novella. It's a special anniversary episode of your favourite show in which they bring back the whole cast.
Captain on deck!
It's a fan convention where everyone will sign you an autograph and maybe go to bed with you one more time since now you've got this baller new apartment. This DLC episode slots into the Mass Effect 3 timeline late in the game but before the ending, so you can load up a late stage save file if you haven't lost the USB stick with it on and dive right in. Of course, it wouldn't be Mass Effect without romance options. If, like me, you're playing as someone else's borrowed Shepard, the trick is deducing from your conversations with your apartment full of returning characters which ones you have and do not have sexual history with.
Yeah, so, cool party. But I shouldn't read anything into being your date, right? Because Jimmy Vega's all about the ladies.
So yeah, the worst part is not knowing who he's already romanced.
With that moustache, probably everyone. But you might as well go and ask him.
Yeah, actually I think I will, because Gareth keeps giving me these looks. I'll be right back.
Take your time. I've got things I can be working on. Alright, where was I?
Oh, hey Jane, how's it going?
Yeah, good. How attached were you to your Commander Shepard, only he may have contracted space gonorrhea?
Oh, that's fine. I'm really just waiting for Mass Effect 4 now.
Oh yeah, me too. In fact, can you imagine the possibilities?
Mass Effect is, without a doubt, one of our favourite ever game series, combining as it does our love of space exploration, epic game-spanning storylines, and punching aliens in the face. Now that the Mass Effect 3 Citadel DLC has finally given us the closure we so desperately need, we can stop sending BioWare emails and turn our thoughts to Mass Effect 4. We've known since September that the game is on its way and is in development at BioWare Montreal, but if we had our way, what would our ideal Mass Effect 4 include? Here's what we think.
The main thing I'd like in Mass Effect 4 is a little less pressure. Not in the vacuum of deep space sense, more in the whole fate of the galaxy rests on your shoulder pad sense. You see, much as I love Mass Effect 3, by the end of the trilogy it was a bit like a really difficult high-pressure job. You know, like brain surgery or handling public relations for Chris Brown. Only instead of the stakes being a patient dying or your client revealing himself to be a hateful dickhead yet again, it's the fate of all life in the universe, including your endlessly loyal crew. That's not why I got into this gig back in the first Mass Effect. I got into this gig to explore distant worlds, experience some mild peril, and occasionally further intergalactic diplomacy by engaging in rumpo with one of the many alien species that just happen to be shaped like attractive women. Now if I make one tiny mistake, one of my favourite characters is liable to be carried away by space bees and never seen again. So with the start of a whole new trilogy and a new player character promised, how about we dial back the whole galactic war thing for a bit and slow the pace down just a little? Give us a bit more time to gaze in wonder and soak up those alien cities and cultures. After all, the thing is confirmed as powered by the Frostbite 2 engine, so it's going to look absolutely beautiful.
Take everything you have.
It could even serve the story to have an ending that's just a little more nuanced and defined by actions throughout the game, rather than snap decisions or accumulating a certain number of war assets. If you lost crew during Mass Effect 2's ending, for example, it was awfully tempting to go back and rewrite history. Besides, one of the reasons the end of ME2 and the whole of ME3 was so tense is that we'd grown attached to our crew over the course of the series. Arbitrarily bumping characters off in the first game in a new trilogy isn't going to have the same impact. I'm not ruling out a huge intergalactic bun fight later in the series, but for Mass Effect 4 at least, can you ease us in? No, I'm going to stop right there.
We need a leader.
Don't get me wrong, I love Mass Effect and its main storyline about saving the universe or whatever, but my favourite parts of the games are when I get to strike out on my own and explore the different systems, looking for ever more exciting and sexy adventures. Most of the time throughout the Mass Effect games, I'd be looking at the different planets and systems and was wishing I could just land the Normandy, go for a spin in the Mako, and find some cool stuff to do. Part of this is tied into Mike's point about the urgency of the story. When the fate of the galaxy is at stake, you can't really run off and dick about in uncharted systems looking for things to punch or romance delete as appropriate. But as the series progressed, the focus moved away from the exploration and focused more on galactic war readiness, which, while important, isn't as sexy as discovering a cool planet full of tree monsters with element 0 for blood or something.
Word war.
I'd love to be able to discover stuff along the lines of the loyalty missions from ME2, self-contained, story-based missions that give you some insight into the characters of your crew, or introduce new elements of the fiction that you don't see elsewhere. It shouldn't be compulsory, but it'd be great to have the option to just head out and explore, and stumble across planets and even systems that it feels like no one else has discovered. Basically, I want Gulliver's Travels in space. Make it happen, BioWare.
Having a bad day, Shepard?
Mass Effects 1 through 3 are stuffed to the amphibious alien gills with superb voice performances.
East 40 is for us, the cleaners.
Okay, not that one, but like all the others. It supports these performances with glorious character and costume design, and in-game cinematography, and of course, the dialogue we know and love.
Hell yeah. Put more of the stuff in the thing, more stuff goes in.
Your funeral, sister.
If it falls down anywhere, just a little bit, it's in the odd spot of awkward animation. That's not to say anyone is juddering around like a malfunctioning robot, but sometimes the character animation is just shy of really natural human or humanoid movement.
Shepard.
Kaidan.
You and I are pretty good at picking up on less than natural movement, even if it's not leaping out of the screen at you. That's why full performance capture will make a subtle but significant difference in Mass Effect 4. A series with Mass Effect's cinematic flair and engaging characters needs the subtlety and realism of real human performances. Motion capture, as seen recently on Lara in Tomb Raider, is getting cheaper and more widespread all the time. Okay, it would still be no mean feat to motion capture a giant galaxy-spanning role-playing game with hundreds of characters, but BioWare could start with the lead characters in key scenes and see how they get on. At least that's what I want in Mass Effect 4.
Oh, hey, before we start the feedback, you remember that coded message we got in last week's feedback section? Well, I've spent all week cracking the code so we can finally dignify it with a response.
Oh, that's fine. Crazy Games already decoded it for us in the comments. When will you make a podcast, is what it said.
Yep, that's definitely what I had as well.
Meanwhile, on our preview of Injustice Gods Among Us, Shotgun3699, that's his PIN number, said, anyone else wonder how Batman's driving licence hasn't been revoked? Presumably thanks to this brilliant display of parallel parking.
It's a loophole, actually, because he wasn't driving the car at the time.
He really is the world's greatest detective.
Of our fun boxing of the Tomb Raider Collector's Edition, DC Tancock says, it should have been full of spiders. You have to reach through them to get to the game. Ultimate Collector's Edition.
I'm going to be really scared if it's full of spiders.
While Steve Wright says, I'd like to see an image of Andy Farrant looking in pain. Big poster of Lara looking in pain.
If only there was some way of combining the two things.
No.
Oh, come on. I already had the crate made up and it took hours sourcing the spider eggs and then rigging up the webcam.
It would never work as a light entertainment format, sorry. Of our Spoiling Point discussion of the new Tomb Raider game, which took place in the real, genuine Croft Manor, home of Lara Croft off of Tomb Raider, Rodri Norris said, Why is there a stuffed ferret on the shelf? And why the hell did I see IGN use this exact room the other day? So many questions.
We can only assume that IGN broke into the Croft Manor as well, Rodri, in fact using one of the methods we dismissed as being too dangerous for getting to the manor, such as dressing up as the Croft butler Winston or dressing up as a priceless relic and hoping that Lara nicks them.
The ferret is our director, non-union, obviously.
Meanwhile, on our Let's Play of History Legends of War...
Willibald Bianchi.
Promote him. I've got a good feeling about Willibald. Jamie Pryor said, Willibald shall definitely be the name of my first son. Or daughter. I believe the feminine form is Willaminabald. FYI, just in case I don't want the kids at school laughing at her or anything.
Hadn't you better go and check on Mike? I mean, he pretty much needs constant supervision.
I've been gone like 5 minutes. How much trouble can he have possibly gotten himself into? Yeah, all right. And we're back.
Oh, okay, so don't be mad, but I am now banned from the state of Massachusetts. Also, I've got to wear this ankle bracelet thing that electrocutes me every time I think about Ken Levine.
I was gone for 5 minutes.
Yeah, sorry. Also, the voltage doubles if I think about Retro X-Men t-shirts or taut muscular frames.
And that's all for this week's Show of the Week, but between now and next time, catch us at OutsideXbox.com or on YouTube at youtube.com/OutsideXbox.
Or send us a tweet or a Facebook thing at Outside Xbox or facebook.com/Ken Levine. Outside Xbox.
Bye. Okay, good. Show done. So, do you want to watch the DVD? I've got Little Miss Sunshine with Steve Carell. Or there's Mr. Selfridge with Jeremy Piven. Or we could just watch a Ken Levine documentary. Uh-oh.